What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of BreBre Talks MMA. Before we get into the episode, let's go ahead and show some love to our sponsors. You guys know I love to watch combat sports. You know I love to watch fights. But you know what else is a real fight? Is dealing with health insurance. Oh my goodness. It gets me so frustrated. And just like in a fight, you want to make sure you have the best in your corner. And that's where Bruce from Watson Health Group comes in. Not only is Bruce a licensed health professional based right here in St. Louis, Missouri, but he's also a diehard MMA fan just like us. And trust me, when you're looking for a health insurance agent that's going to fight for you, Bruce is your guy. So go ahead and visit the website watsonhealthgroup.com, fill out the form, and see how Bruce can protect you from getting knocked out by unexpected medical costs. So unfortunately, I did not get a chance to watch UFC Sao Paulo this Saturday because I was doing post-fight interviews. I was working the Shamrock FC 350 event, which I am going to recap here in just a second. But I did see that Derek Lewis ended up losing that fight to Jailton Almeida. And from what I heard from my friends, it wasn't the most exciting fight in the world. So I guess it's not too bad that I missed it. But I did see that there was supposedly a really good performance from a few fighters. Nicholas Dalby got a knockout over Gabriel Bonfim, which, you know, he was previously undefeated. And then Elvis Bernaire, he's another shoot box fighter, and he got a first round knockout. So I am going to go back and watch those performances because I think that Elvis Bernaire, he's definitely somebody we need to watch out for. I also want to watch the Cal Barallo fight against Abus Magomedov. I don't know how exciting that fight was. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments, but I do want to watch that one because I am really excited about Cal just from what I've seen so far. But definitely disappointing about Bonfim. I was really excited about him. I was hoping that he was going to kind of continue his momentum, but Nicholas Dalby's good. I mean, he's a real deal. So I don't know. That's a tough fight for him. Maybe too much too soon. Who knows? But we'll see. Maybe he can turn it around and get back in the win column in his next fight. But yeah, that's disappointing. And then also, yeah, I'm always disappointed to see Derek Lewis lose. I guess his just stand-up strategy didn't quite play out this time. But yeah, I I love that guy. I also saw that Angela Hill got a win over Denise Gomez. So that is really exciting. I love to see Angela Hill get in the win column. She's been screwed over so many times. Seriously, she's been screwed over so many times and been on the wrong side of so many decisions. So I am so happy to see her get a win. I love Angela Hill. She's amazing. The first African-American female fighter. And she was the first African-American female to do not the live commentary, but like the post-fight commentary. She was the first one to do that. So really excited about her. And I actually would like to see her do commentary sometime. I think she would be good at it. But yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, I unfortunately did miss those fights. I was really excited to watch it, but I had a great time at Shamrock. It was Shamrock FC 350. So it was really exciting. And the main event was Josh Augustine versus Nick Maupin. So let's go ahead and get into all the action from Saturday night. So the first fight, actually, Ernest Bolt was originally scheduled to fight. I can't remember the name of the fighter he was supposed to fight, but it was supposed to be an MMA fight. Got canceled last minute. So they called in Derek Albright literally the day before and asked him if he wanted to do a grappling match with Ernest. So I thought that was really cool, a very unique way to kind of not save a fight, but still give a competitor an opportunity to go out there and show their skills. So I thought that was awesome. I thought it was really cool that Derek just kind of said, sure, why not? He's like, I didn't have any plans for Saturday night and it sounded like fun. So I was like, sure. So I think that's awesome. It's a great attitude to have. And hopefully we'll get to see him in MMA. I thought his grappling in that match was really impressive. It was only 3 minutes, so it went to a draw. Just one round of grappling. So not a whole lot, going on there, but it was really fun. It was very fast-paced grappling, and both of them had really good jiu-jitsu. There were a lot of really interesting transitions and just exchanges on the ground that it definitely was a high-level grappling a match. So I really enjoyed that, and yeah, it was fun. So I'm excited to obviously see more stuff like that. I saw one championship kind of had a similar thing. Obviously there's, I don't know how long their grappling matches are in one. I need to pay more attention to one. But I saw that they have kickboxing, they have MMA, and they have grappling, which I think is really cool. So I don't know, hopefully we'll see more of that in the future. Maybe, Shamrock will do more grappling matches. I think it's really interesting. And I think that if they even planned it a little bit more ahead of time, if they could get, some really high level grapplers in there, I think that'd be really exciting. So yeah, that was fun. But let's see, what was after the grappling match? I believe that might have been Ian Houston's fight. Let me see. I have it all written down, guys. I am prepared. Yeah. Oh, no. I lied. Reggie Morris versus Nuriel Henry. That was the fight after that. So that fight was really awesome. It was fight of the night. It was a very competitive fight. Very interesting. Wasn't expecting it to play out the way it did. And I don't think Reggie was expecting it either based on his post-fight interview. So, and I am going to post those post-fight interviews soon. Hopefully they'll be up tonight, but we'll see. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, Nuriel Henry, he has a capoeira background. So I think Reggie was probably expecting more of that type of thing. But no, he wanted to wrestle with them. And he was clinching a lot. And he initiated some grappling pretty early in the fight. And yeah, it was a close fight. It really was. I kind of had a feeling it would go to Reggie, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it was like a split decision or something, because it was just that good of a fight. And yeah, like Reggie said, he was not expecting that much grappling from Nuriel with his capoeira background and him being more kind of a kickboxing style. But the last time I watched Nuriel Henry was in the, it was one of the Shamrock cards from over the summer, I think it was. It was like July or something maybe. But it was one where Max Choriev was fighting. And I think Jackson McVeigh was on that card as well. That's the last time I saw Nuriel fight, and he was fighting Gabe Stein, and he got a rear naked choke in that fight. And Nuriel was losing the fight up until that point. So it was really interesting. It was a really, really impressive comeback win. So I'm excited to see Nuriel again, and I'm excited to see Reggie. He said he's going to work on some things, make some improvements, because he wants to start, kind of finishing fights more, which I think is, a great mentality to have, to, kind of learn from your wins. You learn from your losses, but you can learn from your wins too. So I think that's really just a great mindset for him to have. And it was really fun talking to him after the fights. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. And then Ian Houston versus Rohan Ibarra. So this, I hope I pronounced that right. This fight was, I could not believe that this was both of their debut. It was just insane. Ian Houston, he's only been training for 6 months. So he trains at the Church of Jamie, and he trains with Calvin Williams, he said, is his main training partner, and Jamie, of course, is his coach. And he started training there 6 months ago, and Jamie told him that it would be 2.5 years before, he might be able to fight. And then I guess it kept getting less and less, is what Ian had said. And then 6 months later, he's already making that walk to the ring. So it just shows you what kind of work ethic these guys have. And not only is he making his debut and fighting in 6 months of training, he has a full-time job on top of it. So he's working full-time and training at the same time, and was able to progress so fast to be able to make his debut in 6 months and fight in Shamrock, and on a pretty big stage for your first fight. So I thought that was pretty inspiring, honestly. And if you want to watch the post-fight interview, it's really something. It's only a couple minutes long. Honestly, that energy that he brought, not only to the cage, but to the post-fight interview as well, was just incredible. I mean, it was an emotional interview. Like, I honestly felt so inspired after I spoke with him. It just kind of gave me a little wake up, like I kind of got a little motivated after that. He just brings a different kind of energy. He's got something special about him. So I think we need to watch out for Ian Houston. I think he has a very bright future. And I wouldn't be surprised if eventually, he goes pro and takes this pretty far. I mean, he's got major star potential, especially with his personality in the cage too. He was having fun in there. You can tell he loves it. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't love it and people can't feel that when they're watching, that's, I feel like, the missing piece. And I feel like that is also what makes a lot of fighters great, is just their love for the sport. So Ian is just an inspiration. Man, that was so awesome. So I'm really excited to see him again. I can't believe that was his debut. He's got some skills. I mean, he's got a great jab. Oh, he threw some beautiful kicks in there. You would have never guessed that was his debut. It was such a fun fight. So yeah, shout out to Ian Houston for just being awesome. And then the next fight was another debut, Michael Blessing versus Jamison Hartwegger. So Michael Blessing is only 18 years old and he's a nursing student, and he was making his MMA debut on Saturday night and he ended up getting a first round knockout. So super, super exciting. Obviously a fantastic performance, and he was really interesting to talk to as well. In his post-fight interview, that's when he told me that he was a nursing student. So he was like, yeah, it might be a little bit before I can get back in there because I'm trying to get through some things in nursing school. But, and that's one thing I feel like a lot of people kind of forget about these amateur fighters, is like they have a whole career, a whole life outside of fighting. Whereas, you watch the UFC and a lot of those guys, that's their full-time job. So, they have so much potential, and some of these guys, maybe they'll just do it as something fun, to compete in and more as a hobby. But maybe some of these guys will end up taking it, as far as going to the UFC or going to one championship, or who knows. So I'm really excited to see the future for a lot of these fighters. I was really impressed with a lot of them. And then the next fight was Kevin Arnold versus Nicholas Williams. Unfortunately, this fight ended due to an injury. Kevin Arnold, it looked like he had maybe tore his knee or something. And going into the second round, he told the doctor he wasn't able to continue. And so it ended up being a TKO win for Nicholas Williams. Obviously not the way Nicholas wanted to win the fight. And honestly, leading up to that, it looked like Kevin Arnold was winning the first round. So it was pretty dominant round for Kevin Arnold in the first. And then, who knows what have happened in the second and third, though. And that's why you never want to see this. It's kind of like what happened with Gamrot versus Fiziev. It was just an unfortunate ending. And, it almost wasn't enough for us to even judge like who would have won one way or another. It's just like, we have to see it. We have to see it happen. So unfortunately, the fight ended that way. And but you know what? It's a win. You got to take it. So Nicholas Williams, he had a great attitude about it. He was obviously super frustrated because he doesn't want to win like that. But he is welcoming a rematch. So if, Kevin heals up and wants to fight, then Nicholas said he's down. So, yeah. And then Chrissy Long versus Michaela Buska. This was a great fight. This was so much fun to watch. Just two girls getting in there and putting their heart out. That's really what it felt like. You could just tell both of these ladies really love what they do. They love fighting. They love competing. They love showcasing their art, their skill. And it was amazing. It was a fun fight. Chrissy, she's like taller, longer fighter, super, super tall. And then Michaela Buska, she's, a little shorter, a little bit more, kind of a bulldog in there. Like she was just walking her down and trying to use her pressure and control the ring. And it was a fun fight. They're both really tough, have a lot of heart, and it was so much fun to watch. And they have a lot of respect for each other too, which you always love to see. Great sportsmanship out of both of them. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed watching Chrissy. She's another fighter from the church, and they've all got such fun personalities over there. I love watching them fight, and I love talking to them too. I talk to a lot of the fighters from the church, on a regular basis, and they're just so much fun. They have such an interesting dynamic there and culture, and I really like it. I really like talking to them and interacting with them. I got to hang out with them a little bit at the weigh-ins and hang out with Jamie and Ashley Pryor, and it was just awesome. They're such cool people. So really excited to see more in the future from them, and especially with they've got new up and coming guys like Ian Houston making his debut, and they've got some other great fighters there. Patrick Vega is fighting on Saturday for the IKF Midwest national title in stand-up fight series. They've got a bunch of other fighters. Trey Crawford, he's a great kickboxer as well. So yeah, they've got a ton of talent there, and I'm excited to see it. And then the next fight, let's get into the title fight. So Alec Reed versus Pat Givatz. This was just an impressive display of grappling from Pat. He ended up winning this fight via unanimous decision, and it was just an absolute domination as far as the grappling goes. He kind of almost reminded me a little bit of Grant Dawson, the way that he grapples. He doesn't need a ton of takedowns. He got maybe 4 or 5 takedowns in this fight, I think. And yeah, didn't need a ton, but he held his opponent down. And he said in his post-fight interview, if you're not a brown belt or a black belt, then, you're not going to be able to get back up once I get you on the ground. And so I'm really excited about Pat. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think that style just works really well in MMA. Obviously, it's taken Grant Dawson really far. He's got, a similar style where he just really controls his opponent. And I think what a lot of people don't realize about that, it's like, yeah, we love to see finishes. We love to see flashy knockouts, of course. But to do that for 3 rounds is really impressive because it requires just a different level of cardio, especially when you're facing another great wrestler. Like Alec Reed has great grappling as well. So the level of cardio and strength and pure physicality that it takes to do that is super impressive. And just little things like his head positioning and the way that he was moving, like those little things that, maybe to a casual fan or somebody who doesn't know a lot about the grappling side, maybe they don't notice those things or appreciate those things. But I would challenge you, to kind of learn a little bit more about the grappling if you're an MMA fan, because I think it does truly make you appreciate it more, and it makes you more excited when you watch those performances. Because sometimes, as MMA fans, we like to see the knockouts, we like to see all the fun action, but there is something to be said for, watching that style of grappling and being able to appreciate, all those little details. And if you don't know a lot about that, I would encourage you to watch some of Daniel Cormier. He does the detail videos. I think that's what it's called, detail. And he kind of breaks down a lot of the grappling exchanges on there. So if you don't know a lot about the grappling, that would probably be a good place to start. But nonetheless, fantastic performance from Pat. I was really impressed with his grappling and just his ability to control his opponent. I think that's going to take him a long way, especially when he turns pro. So congratulations to Pat on winning the belt. That was awesome. And I saw him chirping on Instagram at Edgar Torres. So I guess he wants to give Edgar a shot at the belt, which I would love to see that. I think that would be a really exciting fight. I mean, Edgar is always fun to watch. He's super tough. He's got so much heart. And Pat, he's got that great grappling. So take my money. I would love to see it. So, and then moving on to the main event, Josh Augustine versus Nick Maupin. So this was a really exciting fight. Obviously, Josh Augustine is always fun to watch. He's very explosive. He's got a lot of experience. He's a pro MMA fighter. This was the only pro fight on the card, but a high level pro MMA fighter. And even though he's never been in the UFC, he has fought guys that were in the UFC or are in the UFC. So like his opponent, Muhammad Naimov, was in the UFC. So he's fought very high level guys, and he trains at Extreme Couture. He used to train here in St. Louis, but he moved, I want to say like a year ago or so, or maybe even less than that. Moved to Vegas and trains at Extreme Couture. He trains a lot under Dennis Davis, who's a coach there. And he's got some incredible training partners. Jose Torres, I know he trains a lot with. And then Jordan Levitt, he trains with as well, who's in the UFC. So he's training with really high level guys. And you can tell and especially his work with Dennis Davis. Dennis is amazing. I watch a lot of his content on Instagram, and the way he explains things is it's really helpful, honestly. And I'm not training MMA, but I still find it really interesting to watch. Just the way that he explains different things and in the technique, you can just tell that he is very, very knowledgeable of the sport. And Josh said that, that's been a huge key to his, his training and improving on things, is training under Dennis Davis, because he knows so much about the sport. He's been in all these different positions. He knows how to overcome, all these different obstacles. So I think that's been really important for Josh. And I'm really happy that we got to see him display those skills, because even though he didn't get a finish, so this fight was a unanimous decision win for Josh. Even though he didn't get a finish, I would say he had at least a 10-8 round in there, maybe two. Depending on how you scored it, there was at least one for sure. He had Nick Maupin flattened out at one point, and I thought the fight was about to be over. I really did. And so even though he didn't get a finish, I thought it was a beautiful display of his skills, and it showed that he has a huge arsenal of different tools in his toolbox. He's got impressive grappling. He's got great grappling, offense and defense. So he got a beautiful takedown in the first round. I mean, it was perfect. It was such a great takedown. It was amazing. And then for him to get that takedown and then be able to defend, because here's the thing, Nick Maupin is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got some incredible grappling. So, and he's got a dangerous guard from the bottom. I mean, he was trying to not only, kind of catch Josh in a submission, but he was doing a great job of kind of deflecting a lot of the ground and pound as well. So he made it really difficult for Josh to land ground and pound. He really did. And Josh did a great job of staying patient and not rushing in and not taking too many risks there, because he was facing somebody who could, potentially catch him in an armbar or triangle or something crazy from the ground. And he was even throwing some strikes of his own. He was throwing some elbows from the bottom. So, it was a great display of fight IQ from Josh, in my opinion. A great display of his grappling, his jiu-jitsu, his wrestling skills, his takedowns, his ground and pound. He threw some beautiful kicks there too, some beautiful front kicks, high kicks. He threw some leg kicks. It was just amazing. It was honestly a fantastic performance from Josh. I was really impressed. Even though he didn't get a finish like he wanted to, I know that's what he wanted. And I know he didn't want to go, all 3 rounds and get exhausted getting in there with Nick Maupin, but Nick's really tough. And Josh even said that leading up to this fight that, Nick, he's from Kentucky. He's a tough guy. And, it's, I don't know. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen in there. It's MMA. So, but he dominated the fight. I mean, he dominated it. He did get, hit a few times, and, it wasn't easy. It was a hard fought victory, but he absolutely dominated the fight, and it was super impressive. So congratulations, Josh, on your win. He called out Josh Henry after the fight. Josh Henry, somebody he fought before. He wants that rematch. He wants to avenge his loss. And I appreciate that about Josh. I think it's great that he wants to go back and avenge his losses. He's talked about wanting to fight Naimov when he goes to the UFC. So hopefully he gets the chance to do that. Hopefully he continues to string some wins together, and then hopefully at some point we will see him in the UFC, because I think he has potential to be a huge star. I've always thought that about Josh, and I've known Josh for a while. Back when we used to train at the same gym, he was kind of the first person that really kind of showed me like how to hit pads and stuff like that. And, he showed me a few things that were really, really helpful, honestly, and just like little basic things. And he was kind of the first person to make me feel really like welcome, honestly, in an MMA gym, because I was so intimidated and I felt so out of place with training for the first time. But, he helped me with some things, and it was really, really awesome of him to do that. So I've been watching, his fights for a while, and I know he's got a lot of potential. So I'm hoping that he can continue this momentum. But so it was an awesome event. I loved doing the post-fight interviews. It was really fun, and I'm excited to do it again. So moving on to UFC. So there were some fight announcements, some pay-per-view announcements. UFC 297 was announced, Strickland versus Duplessis. So that's really interesting. I I don't know what I think about that fight. I think I would probably favor Strickland a little bit in that fight, which I know they were talking about giving it to Khamzat, the title fight, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think the performance that he had, I guess, really warranted a title shot. His performance against Usman. I thought they were going to give it to him just because they said they would, but I guess, the performance just wasn't enough, so they changed their mind. Gave it to Du Plessis, which Du Plessis does honestly deserve it. So yeah, I think if Sean can keep that fight standing, I think he has a good shot because he has really good defense. He doesn't get hit very often. I think the biggest threat in that one is just Du Plessis' strength and physicality. I think if Sean can make it out of the first 2 rounds, then he will win the fight. I honestly do think so. Because Du Plessis doesn't have the greatest cardio in the world, and Sean has, his style is just so, he doesn't need cardio for his style. His style is so just, I've said this before, he's very good at managing energy. He doesn't use, it's not a lot of output. And even just the way he, moves, the way he holds his hands in the Philly shell. It's just, it doesn't require a ton of energy to fight like Sean Strickland fights. And that's why he can spar all the time. And that's why he can, do these 5-round fights, and not get tired at all. Like he looked like he could have gone 10 rounds after the Adesanya fight. So yeah, I think that is probably the biggest thing. And I think that to me is different than the Khamzat fight because Khamzat's grappling is just on a different level. I don't think Du Plessis has the same level of grappling as Khamzat. So I'm going to probably lean towards Strickland, but I think this is going to be a really interesting fight. I really do. And this fight could have easily happened before Sean Strickland was champ. I mean, this could have been a fight a long time ago. So it's interesting. But yeah, Du Plessis never seen 5 rounds, never seen 4 rounds either. So I don't know. He's had issues with cardio in the past, like the Darren Till fight. He had issues with cardio. So I'm not super optimistic about his cardio in this fight. He's going to probably have to finish it in the first or second round, I would think, for him to have the best chance of winning. But I think Strickland will just kind of take over after the second round. Or maybe, who knows, maybe Strickland will get a finish in this fight. That would be awesome. I would probably bet on Strickland going to decision, but we'll see. I think the co-main event, I don't know if it's the co-main event, but it's on this card. It was just announced, is Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Rakic. So that is going to be fun. That is going to be on UFC 297 as well. And I am really excited about that. That is going to be a really interesting fight. I think I would probably lean toward Rakic in that one just because Jan, he's been in so many fights. He's been in so many title fights. Like, he's not getting any younger. So I think it's probably getting to that point where, he's, I don't know. I hate to say that, but because I love Jan Blachowicz. I think he's amazing. But I think Rakic is really impressive. He's got great grappling, so we'll see. UFC 298, Volkanovski versus Topuria. That is targeted for February. And Volkanovski just got knocked out end of October. So I honestly don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I like this fight for Volkanovski. I think I'd rather him take a little bit more time off. But I know how he is. He doesn't really want to take time off because, he's in his prime and he says, he kind of deals with mental health issues when he takes time off. So I get it. I just don't know if coming off of a knockout like that and then going right into another title fight against Topuria, who's got some really good striking. I don't know. And then cutting weight on top of that, cutting down to 145, especially after finding out how heavy Volkanovski walks around at. I'm like, geez, I don't know how I feel about this, guys. I really don't know. I kind of would rather see this happen in like April, at least. That's about 6 months. I think, 3-4 months is just too soon to come back from a knockout like that. honestly. And we've seen fighters do this before and they come back too soon and then they just, I don't know. If this fight was happening April or later next year, I'd probably pick Volkanovski. If it was, but with it being so soon, I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'd still probably lean toward Volkanovski just because he's Volkanovski. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it being this soon. That's a little nerve wracking. So we'll see. Hopefully he wins, but I don't know. I do like Topuria too, though. He's got major star potential. I've said this before. He kind of reminds me of like a Spanish version of Cody Garbrandt. So, yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential, a lot of star potential. So if he wins this fight, that's honestly probably good for the featherweight division. And I think if Volkanovski loses, then I think he should just move up to lightweight after the rematch. Because obviously what they'll do, if Topuria wins, then they'll do a rematch in... if Volkanovski can win the rematch, I think that would be really cool for him to like win his belt back and then move up to lightweight and then go for double champ then. I think that would be awesome because I am a little nervous about him in this fight. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see. I do want to see Volkanovski make a run at lightweight. And I saw somebody post something. I don't remember who it was, but somebody posted something about Volkanovski versus Chandler. And I was like, wait a second. I never thought about that matchup. That would be freaking awesome. Can you imagine Michael Chandler versus Alex Volkanovski at lightweight? That would be freaking incredible. So, I don't know. I think that'd be fun. And they're both a little closer in height. Like, Michael Chandler, I think he's like 5'8", 5'9", and Volkanovski's like 5'6". So, I think that'd be really fun. So, I would love to see Volkanovski make a run at lightweight just because of the matchups. The possibilities are just insane. Moving on. O'Malley versus Cheeto announced for UFC 299. I don't know what I think about this fight. I think that O'Malley definitely could win. I think I would probably lean toward O'Malley in this one, via like TKO or knockout. But Cheeto, he's got really good leg kicks, and we remember what happened last time. O'Malley got hurt, so I don't know. I really like Cheeto, but I think I'm going to pick O'Malley on that one. We'll see. We shall see. I just think O'Malley does have like he's a little injury prone. And I'm afraid that if he gets leg kicked, that's going to be a problem. And that might be part of Cheeto's strategy in this fight, is to use his leg kicks to kind of, slow down the striking of O'Malley. But one thing O'Malley does really well is stance switching, which that does help a little bit. And I'm sure part of his game plan is probably going to be to check leg kicks and, just be aware of Cheeto's danger, because Cheeto is a dangerous guy for anybody to fight. So we'll see how it goes. But GameBread FC is Jorge Masvidal's GameBread bare knuckle promotion. And he's doing some really awesome things over there. So I wanted to go through this card really quick and just kind of show you guys, first of all, how many UFC fighters are on this card. It's absolutely insane. And it's just going to be so exciting. The last card was awesome. The main event was Junior Dos Santos versus Verdum. So it was incredible to see, two UFC legends throw down in bare knuckle MMA, and it was a great card as well. And this one, it's shaping up to be a really great card. So I'm excited to see it. There are some really good fights on this card. So let's run through it real quick. We've got Dennis Labruza versus Javanis Ross. That is the first fight, light heavyweight fight. And then we've got James Freeman versus Tyler Hill. That is a welterweight bout. We've got Chase Sherman, who is a UFC vet as well, versus Carl Sumanatafa. And then we've got Brandon Davis versus Joe Penafil. So Joe Penafil, if you've never seen him fight, he is incredible to watch. He's got a ton of personality, but he's also got a ton of skill, and he's just an absolute dog. I mean, he is there to throw down. He puts 100% into all his fights and just kind of leaves it all out there. So he's got an incredible heart, and just a great personality. I did an interview with him on my other podcast, The Brilliant Resilient Experience, if you haven't seen it. Definitely check it out. He's got a really fun personality, and I'm excited to see him fight again. And then we've got Ago Huskich versus Joshua Weems. That's going to be a great fight. That's a featherweight fight. And then speaking of UFC vets, we've got Hector Lombard, who has a ton of UFC experience, ton of martial arts experience, just a really impressive resume. And he's going to be fighting Chris Sorrow. And then we've got Francisco Trinaldo, another UFC vet, guys. This is just crazy. He is fighting Sasha Palatnikov. And then we've got Joel Ballman versus Curtis Melinder. This is going to be such a great fight. Joel Ballman, he got an impressive finish in his last fight, and it was on the BreBre FC 5 card, so the one that happened not too long ago. And he's going to be back in the bare knuckle cage, so I'm really excited to see him again. And Curtis Melinder, that is a tough opponent. That is no joke. Curtis Melinder, he's another UFC vet. And he's also fought in Bellator, he's fought in PFL, so he's got a ton of experience. He's got a really impressive resume. I mean, he's fought so many guys. He's fought Bilal Muhammad. He's just got an incredible resume. He has wins over Max Griffin, Kevin Holland, Thiago Alves. So really excited to see him get in there in bare knuckle MMA. And then we've got Alex the Spartan Nicholson versus Dylan Kleckler. That is going to be an absolute banger. It's a heavyweight fight, but I think that is going to be probably the best heavyweight fight on the card, besides maybe the main event. It's going to be really fun. So Alex Nicholson, another UFC vet. And then we've got, for the co-main event, Jason Knight versus Randy Costa. Both of them are UFC vets. And Jason Knight has quite the resume. He has wins over Dan Hooker. He has wins over Alex Casares. He has wins over Thiago Moises. So he's got a really, really impressive resume. I'm really excited to see it. And excited to see Randy Costa. I mean, he's got a fun personality too. He's really fun to watch. Yeah, two really impressive guys. And I think this is his bare knuckle debut. So his bare knuckle MMA debut. So I'm really excited to see that. Wasn't too long ago that he was fighting in the UFC, so should be a pretty fun fight there. And then of course Roy Nelson versus Alan Belcher, the main event. I don't even want to predict this fight. I don't know who's gonna win. I really don't know. I just know this is gonna be a fun fight. I mean, I always love watching Roy Nelson. He's so fun to watch. So it's gonna be awesome. It is gonna be awesome. Lots of UFC bets on this card. Lots of them. It is gonna be really exciting. And then switching gears over, oh, by the way, that is going to be Friday, November 10th, again. I believe they're going to be streaming this one on YouTube, just like they did the last one. And then if you want to watch it live, if you're in the area, it is in Biloxi, Mississippi. So yeah, November 10th, Biloxi, Mississippi, BreBre FC Bare Knuckle MMA. Check it out. And then let's move on to kickboxing. So this weekend, this Saturday, I will be attending the Stand Up Fight Series kickboxing event. This one is going to be in St. Charles, Missouri at the Boys and Girls Club. And the doors open at 5, fights start at 6. It's going to be insane. It's going to be so much fun. There are 9 fights on the prelims, so pretty stacked card on this event. And there are a ton of great fighters, ton of talent on here, so let's run through real quick. We've got Caleb Tracy versus Brandon Murphy. This is a Muay Thai fight to open up the prelims. And then we've got Anderson Allen versus Cortland Conley. That's another Muay Thai fight. Jalen Scott versus Danny Haar. That is a kickboxing bout. And then we've got Donald Hogue versus Kayshawn Lacey. Another kickboxing fight. Troy Harvey Valiant versus Jabari Dunn. That is going to be another kickboxing fight. And then we've got a heavyweight kickboxing fight. We've got Terrell Ursery versus Tyler Lust. And then we've got Austin Bailey versus Nicholas Rivera for a Muay Thai fight. Another Muay Thai fight. This one, Chad Mueller made sure to tell me about that he's really excited for. This one is going to be Za Leon versus Ty Prackett. And this is another Muay Thai fight, so I'm really excited about this one. Ty Prackett is half Thai. He trains at Maryville Muay Thai with Chad Mueller, and Chad says he is just picking up so quickly on his skills. This is only his second fight, so he made his debut on the last card, and I watched that one as well. I was really impressed with his performance there, so I'm really excited to see him fight again. And then we've got Mary Dalton versus Gabrielle Labby. That is a kickboxing fight. So I'm really excited about all of these. The prelims are going to be so much fun. And then let's check out the main card. The main card is absolutely incredible. We've got Nate Schaefer versus Trey Lewis to open up the main card. And Trey Lewis is another fighter that Chad made sure to tell me about that is on the rise and has a lot of potential to become a huge star. So I'm really excited to see him. He's 3-1, and he's going to be fighting in a kickboxing fight against Nate Schaefer, who is 4-3. And then we've got Marcellus Edwards, who is 2-1. And don't let that fool you, because Chad made sure to let me know that Marcellus Edwards apparently has a bunch of street beef style fights that are unsanctioned, like 33 street beef fights that are unsanctioned, that don't count obviously on his record, but it'll be interesting to see how that experience plays into this kickboxing fight. But he's going to be fighting Dan Harina, who is 5-4. So Dan Harina, he's from O'Fallon, Missouri. He is super, super tough. He's an absolute dog. He's also got a really fun personality. He's always got the mohawk. We'll see what color it is. Hopefully pink. I don't know. Maybe it'll be rainbow. You never know with Dan. I am so excited to see him. And he's moving back down to 205, which is probably, you know, a better fit for him. He was fighting at heavyweight before, so this is going to be really interesting. It's going to be really fun to watch. And they've been chirping at each other on social media. There's definitely some some bad blood there, so that'll be really interesting. And then title fights. We've got 4 title fights on this card. So we've got Ethan Huff versus Max Reed. I'm really excited about this one because Max Reed is 4-0. He's undefeated. He's from St. Louis. And he is fighting Ethan Huff from Omaha, Nebraska for the IKF Missouri-Nebraska title. And then we've got Brian Miller, who is 5-0 from Cleveland, Ohio. And he is fighting ESMMA and Fitness's very own Austin Miller. I'm so excited. Got to show some love for the ESMMA fighters because that's where I train. And they've always been super supportive of me, so I gotta show the love right back. So I'm really excited. Austin Miller is 3-0 in kickboxing. He's also an MMA fighter, so he's got a lot of great experience. I know he's putting in some great work at ESMMA with Kendall Whited and Eric Steenberg, our head coach. So I'm really excited to see Austin Miller put on a beautiful display just like last time. And hopefully, you know, this time maybe we can get a finish. We'll see. But he is fighting for the IKF Missouri, Ohio title. So he's got a title on the line this time, which is really, really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that fight. And then we've got Cameron Steffen versus Carter Rustio. So Cameron is 10-4, Carter is 7-2. This is for the Missouri, Iowa Muay Thai title. So I'm really excited about this one. They both got a decent amount of experience, so it should be a fun fight. And then we've got Reese Newman from Peoria, Illinois, who I actually interviewed him as well on my podcast, if you want to check that out. He kind of talks about his journey and how he got started in kickboxing and his MMA experience. So pretty much all that you would want to know about Reese, you can find out from that interview. And he is fighting Patrick Vega, who I've actually known Patrick for a while as well. He trains at the church, which I mentioned earlier in the show. There's a ton of great fighters coming out of there. And he is from St. Louis, so I'm really excited to see him fight. He's a really fun character as well. He's an absolute dog. So this is going to be an interesting fight. I would be surprised if it goes the distance, but who knows? I mean, yeah, you never know with these fights. But Patrick is putting his undefeated record on the line. He's 9-0 right now, fighting for the national title. This is so exciting, such a huge moment for Patrick, such a huge step in his career as a kickboxer. So I'm really excited to see, if he wins this fight. I mean, that's huge for him. And also Reese Newman, I mean, he's legit. He's fought some legit guys. If you listen to that episode and you kind of hear his experience and what he's done in his career so far, it's really impressive. So I'm really excited to see this one. That is going to be the main event. And again, these fights are going to be on Saturday, November 11th. Doors open at 5, fights start at 6. I will be there, so I would love to see you guys all there. If you are local, it's going to be in St. Charles, Missouri, at the Boys and Girls Club. Stand Up Fight Series does a great job. They put on an amazing show. If you haven't been to one of their shows, definitely go online and kind of check out some of their clips and and things from the last show, but it's gonna be incredible. I'm really excited to cover it after the fact. So go and get your tickets. Go to www.standupfs.com where you can get your tickets there. But I'm really excited for all these fights coming up. It's such an exciting time to be an MMA fan, a combat sports fan. It's just awesome. So, and again, I appreciate all the support from everybody. It really does mean a lot, even if it's just leaving a comment or liking a post or anything, even just listening and watching, even if you don't say anything at all, it's still, all of it adds up. So I appreciate it, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.